Today is class on September 9th, Wednesday, September 9th. And I want to just go through a few things with you guys to make sure you don't miss anything, because what we have this Friday is a Unit 1 test. So we'll be over all the information from the beginning of the year: safety notes, equipment notes, Bunsen burner notes, graphing and variables, and then this week's graduated cylinder and balance information. So you want to make sure that everything we have here is all good for the test. You want to make sure you're ready. So for this week, did you watch this week's lecture? There was only one in Tuesday's folder, and you want to do your lecture questions. We talked about tomorrow's lab is there. You want to make sure you watch that in the Thursday folder, and then the participation points. Because you missed class, you're going to need to write me an email, and we'll get you your participation points for coming to see me in office hours on Thursday. Question, wanted to make sure that everybody had the review sheet. Looks a little like this. If you needed, there are a couple places that it was put. If you take a look at the very front here, there is a intro to chemistry packet. So if you printed that, the review sheet is at the very end. I also put it in one of the updates that I sent out here. The intro to chemistry packet is also there. So, and that's just the review sheet, excuse me. So you can just print off just the review sheet if you would like. If you can't print anything, my suggestion is that you go ahead and just bring it up. So if you go into this week, it's right under where you are watching this video. That's Thursday, excuse me. If you cannot print it, just make it very large on your screen, and then you'll just answer on a regular piece of paper. A beaker is, an Erlenmeyer flask is used for, so on and so forth. So you have to know the names, and you have to know the use for these. And if you don't remember what they look like, remember at the very beginning, you have all of the pictures. Okay, perfect. So as we were going along, the other things we went over were that we have a test on Friday. I will post the answer key to this review sheet right under the lecture that you're watching right now. I have it there. I just don't have it posted yet, so that gives everybody kind of a chance to do it on their own before the key is available. So that will be posted by the end of the day on Wednesday. Okay. All right, let's talk about the test next. The test is going to be open from 7:30 to 1:30, and it will be open for 45 minutes. It is 24 questions and 67 points. So you can take it anytime during the day that you would like. You just want to make sure that you finish it within 45 minutes. And it's been taking people on average like 10 minutes to do my quizzes. So I believe that there is enough built-in extra time. If you believe that you need more extra time than that, you need to make contact with me before you start the quiz, or the test, excuse me. So if you have an accommodation that you don't think the 45 minutes is going to be enough to do 24 questions, go ahead, reach out to me before you start. But I really think it's plenty of time to finish the 24 questions. It goes over everything from the first 3 weeks that I just showed you on the calendar. And my hint to you is that you would like to do this review sheet, because what I did is I took the review sheet, and you can probably see my purple circles here, and I sat down with the test and I said, all right, question number 1, is it on the review sheet? Yes. Question number 2, is it on the review sheet? Yes. Question number 3. So I know that everything on the test is also found on the review. Okay. So you want to do the review, and you want to check it with the key. Okay, perfect. All right, another note before we kind of go over a few things that students usually struggle with. You will no longer, you'll still be getting packets, but there will no longer be guided notes. Like, how much more guided can Tuesday's lecture get? I mean, this is really, really, really guided. So in honors, you're not going to have guided notes anymore. You'll have packets, but they'll be practice, Q is equal to MCD calculations. You will have density calculations. You'll have a measuring thing. So there will be packets that will be sent out, but they will no longer have the notes in them. You will need a spiral or a binder with paper in it in order to take the notes. So the rest of that, the first unit always has guided notes for everybody, my regular and my honors, because you're not going to draw a beaker. Okay. So, but just so you guys know, heads up, the honors will no longer have guided notes. So you have to have something to write your chemistry notes on. Okay. Perfect. So let's get into a few things. One of the things that I often see students struggling with on the test is reading the graduated cylinder. And the only reason why is that you always estimate one place after your last known variable. So when you come up on Friday to one of these, and I'm telling you, you're gonna have to read a graduated cylinder on Friday. When you come up to one of these, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna decide how much each increment is worth. So what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to say, all right, between 50 and 60, how many increments do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 increments between here. So between 50 and 60, 10 increments. How much does that make each graduation worth? Good. Each graduation is worth 1 milliliter. So then what you're going to do is, remember, we have the meniscus. You always read from the bottom of the meniscus, never the top of the meniscus, always the bottom. And what you're going to do is we're going to first write down everything that we agree. Everybody would have to agree this. We agree it's at least 50, 51, and 52 milliliters. The bottom of that meniscus is somewhere between 52 and 53. So we are certain that it is at least 52 milliliters. Now, you must always estimate one place after that. So is it 52 point what? You might have said 52.8, 52.9, 52.7, depending on how you break it up in your head. So we have to have that place after, one place after the last thing you're sure of. So we might not always get 52.8, but you have to have that place there. If you had just picked on the test the 52, that would have not been correct because it's not 52 milliliters. It's 52 something. Okay, so you might not agree with me that it's 52.8, but you know it's 52 something. So that's the estimated place. Let's try one more and let's see if you can play along and kind of do this one on your own. The first thing you do is you figure out the estimation. So between 8 and 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 10 increments. So can you tell me how much each increment is worth? Good. Each increment is worth 0.1 milliliters. Then let's take a look at the meniscus here. And they wrote, this one is tough to see. But what we did here is we take a look, and I believe that the bottom is right underneath that line, right? Oh, well, that didn't do very well. Right under that line right there. So we agree that it's at least 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6. We all agree it's at least 8.6 milliliters. Okay. Then you have to have 1 degree of estimation after that. And I think that that's probably 8.6, as close to 8.7 as you can get. So 8.6, I wrote 6.9. Okay. So you want to be careful and make sure you're always going one place after the last known estimation. The other thing that I saw some people struggling on were reading graphs. And I think one of the things is that people are going too fast. So on Friday, just slow down. Take your time. When you come up to a graph, read the title. Read the X and Y axis. And just get yourself acquainted with what the graph is actually talking about before you even read the question. Because people are just diving into the data and they're reading the wrong axis. If I ask you speed, people are giving me time and things like that. So make sure that you slow down. Just take a look at what you have going on. Okay. So those are the things that most students kind of struggle with here. So you want to make sure you can't put in your participation points because you missed class, but you need to reach out to me to get your participation points. And then make sure you're doing the review sheet and make sure you check the key that will be in Wednesday's folder today. Thanks.